And the other thing is I would lose time. So, but anyway, I would sit down and she allowed me to ask questions. And one of the things I was asking, I wanted to know how they make these craft and all that. Why is it every time somebody takes a picture of a UFO, it's blurry? I asked that. And she said it's because the electromagnetic field around the craft, it can actually make it look invisible. And it doesn't even have to veil behind a cloud necessarily, even though they do that. They can literally be right above your house, and if they're at a certain frequency, they look like it's clear. It's like glass. And then as she's telling me this, they do it. And I'm in the craft, and they do it. And I'm like, it's like I'm standing there on glass looking down, and I'm above the earth. And that was freaky. That was wild. That was so wild. But she was showing me how all of that worked. And so, let me see.
And is this the one that you know as Oktar, or is this another one?
No, Oktar's the one. So when I do readings for people, oftentimes I will pick up on somebody being like a starseed or a light worker, or somebody that has, like a job here, a mission here, like to be of service to humanity in some way. And when I pick that up, Oktar usually comes in to my left behind me, about 3 feet behind me, and I always know it's him because he's about 7 feet tall. And he's the one that gives me the information to help these people navigate their path. Okay. And I don't feel a lot of feelings from him, but I'll explain why. I learned why. He's not like a worker bee. He's not like these little robotic, it feels sinister to me. I don't want to call it sinister. It feels like they have a job. They're not nice. They're not mean. They're just, they have no empathy. They have nothing. The robotic ones. That's not how he comes across. He is neutral. And I asked those questions, why are you neutral? And all of a sudden, guess what? I'm on this watery planet. Well, I see it from a distance. It's like I'm going to this blue-colored watery planet, and they land, and I get out, and they're showing me why they're neutral. And I even saw the technology. I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland or Disney World. They have these things where you put your hand on there or put your bracelet on there to get in. It's like a little tower. So what they do is they run on this planet, they run their hand over this, and it will tell them what their frequency is. And so they're not about feelings. I'm not explaining it the way I want to explain it. They've evolved past this extreme feeling, the extreme feelings that we have. We're a feeling planet, right? It's extreme though. They're not like that. They're neutral. And so, but it doesn't feel bad. They're neutral. That they've evolved. And so we learn here through feelings, right? Everything's attached to a feeling. That's not how they're learning. They're past that. So, but they showed me all this really cool. Everything's colored. Their hues, the hues around their body. The highest hue was this violet. Those are the teachers there. And I was asking, well, how do you get there? I just asked all these questions. I got all those answers too. So.
And is this the same type of being of the female that you were just talking about in the marble room? Okay.
Yeah, and I asked why they were blue. I mean, I'm curious. And they said, because when we were on the blue watery planet, I'm calling it watery because that's what it looked like plasma. When I got there, it wasn't exactly like that. Did you ever see this show, what was that movie? Contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the very end of it, what was her name? Jodie Foster. The very end of
Jodie Foster, yeah. Where it looks kind of like the water's a little bit.
Yes, that's how that looked, and it looked sort of like that. In fact, there was a lot of similarities in that movie. I was quite shocked. I want to go back and watch it again, but it was just different. Everything was different there. There's not all these extreme emotions, but I had lots of talks with him about why. I just wanted to learn, and So I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say. The blue. I said, why are you blue? Because when we were on that planet, they weren't. They were back into this. It was different. I mean, they had this hue about them, though. The colors. They weren't blue, though. And what they showed me was that's actually, it almost looks like a bodysuit. And I said, why? And they said, because the frequency of Earth is so dense. It's like it protects them. It's too dense for them. And so the color blue, they said, which is the color of the Earth's aura, is why they use the color blue. It protects. It's an energy protector for them. I never knew that. I thought it was fascinating. So I said, well, can you give me a blue suit? Because Earth's too dense for me, too. And guess what? As I'm joking, and I looked down and I looked blue. And then I'm like, I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened. That's what I was thinking at the time. But then guess what happens? I felt so comfortable there. And I was saying that to them in all telepathy, right? I'm like, this place feels so beautiful to me. I want to go home. And then I got kind of like, well, this is your home. And all of a sudden, there's these 4 tall, white, light beings that are probably 10 feet tall that come in around me. 4 of them. And I sobbed. I cried. Like, I could cry right now talking about it. It was the most amazing feeling I've ever felt. I felt like that was my family. I have never, ever felt a connection to anybody on earth, including my own parents and family, that I did to them. And they were just giving me these downloads that you're okay, we've got you, and they were explaining things to me, and I felt like they were my parents. I don't know how to explain that. But I felt so...
Wow, and these were the 10-foot tall white ones?
Yes. Oh, my God.
Okay.
And I felt so held and protected. And they combined their light around me. And it's like I was in their light. And I felt just like they wanted me to feel that just to kind of give me a break, from here. But they were just giving me all this reassurance. And then all of a sudden... And I was kneeled down, and all of a sudden when I stood up, I got taller, and I stepped back, and all of a sudden I realized I'm one of these light beings, and now there's 5 of us, and I was in pure light. I was not in a human body. I was exactly what they were. And I was like, whoa, like I felt like they were my pod, And they let me feel that too, because... Earth is so rough, and I was having a really hard time at the time. And it was just, it's beautiful. I'm like literally moved by it.
That's wonderful.
I couldn't stop crying because I'm like, it made me feel like, okay, I've got this. Okay, we can go back. And so oh man, and I can't even tell you exactly when that was. That's the crazy part about it. So but I got to spend time with, here's the weird thing. I know Akhtar's name in the blue female being. I never even asked her name. I don't know why. Now that we're talking. I guess because I never talk about her. I talk to her. But I sit with her and I ask her questions sometimes. But she showed me something there, which was, it was like it was like if you take a pin and you run it across your arm, and like if we would take a knife and cut our skin, but it looked like a pin she had, but her skin came open, and all of a sudden, I didn't know what the hell she was doing, but I saw inside what we would see with us as blood. What I saw with her was this iridescent gel-looking something. That was what was running in her body. And then she showed me that they don't eat. They drink this. Everybody drinks the same thing. I don't know what it is, an energy drink, something. But it's a fluid that they drink, and they only have to drink a little bit of it every day. And they don't need food. And but I thought that was weird, showing me the inside of her body. I thought it was fascinating at the same time because those were questions I didn't ask. And then I started getting complete information about why we're here, what they're doing, why they have abducted people, what they're doing with DNA.